Pisces, you tricky fish. Let me try to bring this down a little bit. Hello loves and lovers out there. Welcome to your May reading. This is for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Midheaven, and or Venus. Pardon the phone, so rude. But anyway, whoever clicked on this video, just know that you were brought here for a reason, and so I hope you hear all that you need at this time, and definitely do subscribe before you leave. This month I am trying something new. I've been guided to just pull one singular card as the overly thematic reading, and everybody just focus on that one particular energy when it comes in, so you know how to navigate around it, or at the very least use the energy to your advantage. Okay, and I do feel like it's also going to be very helpful, beneficial for those that are just now learning or coming into how to like channel tarot and astrology. It's less distracting because you only have one singular card that you're focusing on, so you know what to pinpoint for the month of May, right? So that can be your main goal. I'm all about 1% incremental gains into becoming 100%, right? Into evolving into the best version of yourself. So we're going to try it out. If this resonates for you at the end, then give me that positive feedback. Again, give me that thumbs up if it does resonate for you. But let's go ahead and get into it. I was shuffling the cards, and as I was shuffling and I was asking, like, you know, what can Pisces be expecting in the month? Like, where are they at in life right now? How are they feeling? The Lovers card did peak as I was like cutting the deck, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Gemini energy, but at the very least you guys feel elated in the month of May. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I was thinking as I was shuffling, like, it's interesting because I've gone through just about all 12 zodiac signs, and in trying this new method, nobody got the same card. And then lo and behold, what popped out was the Eight of Cups, which was Aquarius's card for the month of May. And I'm like, are you sure this is it, Spirit? Like, are you sure? Like, it would happen because I am saying that. But if so, then maybe you guys are missing out on love. Singles especially, you feel like there is no love in your life, and that is something that you desire most. It's something that you hold close because you guys are very romantic. And not just the romantics like Libras are, like where they're hopeless romantics and maybe are more concerned with the idea of love than the actual practice and effort that is required to sustain a love. Okay, you guys get it because you guys are an amalgam of all 12 signs, so you have the wisdom in order to really have that happy home and happy life. And it can be extremely frustrating or disheartening is what I'm hearing with the Eight of Cups energy that came out when you can't actually manifest it in your life. Maybe you're trying just a little too hard to have it, and that sense of desperation is why it's taking so long for it to come in. Okay, and so you just need to surrender to the chapter of your life that you are currently in. There's nothing wrong with being single. That just means that you have more time to work on you, and just make sure that you aren't holding on to any emotional baggage when that great love does come in. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're waiting because you haven't done anything at all, and that's why it hasn't been released unto you. You haven't done any character development. You haven't done any sort of healing. And like, why would the universe give you the man or the woman of your dreams just for you to self-sabotage, right? When you get there, because you haven't done any of the work. So if you haven't been moving, get moving in the month of May. If you have been moving, just understand in due time it will all reveal itself, and you will come to understand, because I feel like you guys are a little bit lost on that. You will come to understand why you've been made to wait as long as you have. You will come to understand that those mistakes were all pointing you in the direction that you are essentially walking in. It doesn't matter if you don't know where you're going, because you're supposed to walk by faith and not by sight. And that is really the key to this energy here as you surrender. You're walking by faith. It doesn't matter what things look like right now. It doesn't matter how things feel right now. Acknowledge how you're feeling and definitely honor each emotion that comes through and sit with it for however long it is supposed to be there. Don't deny what you're feeling on an emotional level. Yeah, it's really hard. And like, I understand, like, you don't get it, because I've been waiting 10 years. I've been single for 10 years, or I've been in 10 horrible relationships that were either mentally draining, emotionally draining, or manipulative, or just very mediocre. And I'm sitting here now because I have all these trust issues. Scorpio's energy, 8th house is associated with Scorpio's house, right? And you know, they have a hard time trusting, especially after that first betrayal, because before that, Scorpios are very open and uninhibited, which also came up in Scorpio's reading. Maybe you need to read that. Maybe there's something going on, of course, with Pluto being retrograde and having to look at the sense of power and control that you feel that you have over your life, or that you may have had in certain relationships, that still has to be evolved or overcome, surrendered, if you will, because you never want to get to that space where you feel like somebody else ever has the upper hand again, right? If you've been hurt in that way. Like, yeah, I get it. I haven't been single for that long, and I've still been entertaining people in the process. Like, for those who have been really, really single, haven't even wanted to go on a date in 10 years, or have felt like nobody's kind of given them the time of day. Nobody's been interested enough to really like court and take you seriously. No, I haven't been in that position, but I can absolutely still sympathize with you in that. But if you have already been waiting that long, what's one more day? What's one more week? What's one more month? What's one more year? I think if you get busy, right, you find other things to involve yourself with and kind of take your mind off of what you feel is missing in your life, that can help the time pass a lot faster. You have to get to a point where you're still enjoying life despite not having somebody to share it with. Go to more, I use Eventbrite, and my friends and I, we go to those events where you have the ability to network. They're not necessarily conferences or seminars or anything like that, but they're like panels and discussions. And so maybe you need to go to singles panels, right? Maybe you need to be involved, because Cups energy is also dealing with spirituality in your church. Your husband might be at church. If you're not religious, I'm not trying to force that on you, right, and have you feel that pressure, but you can be that beacon of light and hope and inspiration for other people that are also going through the same thing that you're going through. And that can provide some sense of fulfillment by having that type of community to like lean on without being dependent on. And it can help subside those feelings of loneliness, because at least you have some type of purpose. You can turn your pain into something that is a passion for you, right? Because at the end of the day, everything that you have gone through and or may still be going through with this energy and the next upheaval, right, the next expulsion that's going to come through with all of these planets being retrograde, Saturn, Pluto, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing but a testimony for you at the end of the day. Don't get so caught up in like the emotional hang-ups, and just try to find other things to do. Right? Go to sip and paint classes where you can still talk to people. Go to, I don't want to say like speed dating, but because the Lover's card was peaking, and Geminis are all about just, you know, just being in the know and trying things to understand everything, positive, negative, or neutral. That could be on the table for you. You know what I'm saying? You can get your feet wet without having to commit to anything, without you feeling like you are sacrificing your sense of singledom right now and trying to wait for your purpose partner. But for some of you guys, there is a relationship that you've walked away from that is very, I don't want to say tainted, but may have become tainted, and is the sole reason why you've had to walk away with this Cups energy that came out. Doesn't mean that you love them any less, but unless they understand their wrongdoings, right? And unless they are willing to fight for the relationship by way of putting in the effort that is required, it's never going to move anywhere, and you have to accept that. Maybe you just need to love somebody from a distance at this point, and they will come around or they will not. But if it's meant for you, this person's meant for you with that Lover's card as a soulmate for you, then yes, eventually they will come around. I'm not going to give you a due date for when that will happen, because this is energy that I feel, right, that is channeling through me. And there is will, right? There's free will involved in this. Somebody can decide not to do their part, and it can't be one-sided, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, if you've had to walk away, it's for a good reason. And that just means that that was just practice. I'm thinking of that Drake song, Practice. But that relationship was just practice. And if it was a twin flame that you've had to walk away from, and in doing so you'll meet your soulmate, there shouldn't be that sense of regret or feeling like you are betraying that person, or that you're disloyal with the Scorpio energy here. You have to do what's best for you at the end of the day. My suggestion is to go with what you feel, to go with your heart. Only you know when you've had enough. Nobody else can dictate that or determine when that day will be for you. If the person from your past wants to reach out, or this lover, this soulmate wants to reach out and you want to entertain them, then by all means entertain them, because you feel like there may be some unfinished business there, right? You feel like that is your person, because you just can't help who you love at the end of the day. So don't allow other people to influence you. And maybe somebody has been trying to influence you to walk away from this person. Maybe it's your own mind. Maybe you just don't know how you feel emotionally, right? And so there's been, in that event, a cause for separation at this point. Neither one of you really know what you want. So maybe you need to get a little bit more honest with that so that you can have it, okay? So yeah, that's really what's coming through for you guys. But love is here. Love is on the table. Love is around the corner, on the horizon, however you want to see it, because I did see the Lover's card in the midst of it all. Maybe you need to have a different definition of love, or maybe you just need to love yourself a little bit more, and that's why you've had so many failed relationships. You need to pour a little bit more into yourself and understand that you are whole and complete without the external validation, right? Without the external manifestation of another person. You are love, and it's only when you feel that love that God can release that by way of another person, if it's supposed to be another person. Maybe you incarnated just to figure out how to bring more harmony within the more female, feminine, and masculine aspects of yourself, okay? Because you do possess both. And maybe those have been out of whack, is what I'm hearing. And so you're needing to get that back into balance at the end of the day. You don't ever need anybody else. It's good and it feels good to have somebody else, but at a certain point, if it's not how you need it to be, right? If you're not being loved how you need to be loved, and not how other people want to love you, because that's what they're used to, like that's how they're used to giving. If it's not how you need to be loved, and they're not willing to meet you halfway, then it's not something that you want to sit in anyway, because that's mediocre. You don't need half-ass love. All right, so that's what's coming through. If you've been feeling depressed with this water energy, there is an upside, okay? Just have a little bit more gratitude. Spend a little bit more time in nature in the month of May. Write down the reasons why you should be happy, all the things that you can be happy for that you still have in your life that aren't material. So that's the thing. Detach yourself from material possessions and feeling like that is what is going to help make you a happier person, right? That is the source of your happiness. No, that is not the source of your happiness. And if at the end of the day this is not going to be a meeting of the minds by the end of May with you and somebody that you love, then a great love is coming in, somebody else that is a little bit more fitted for you. They exceed anything that you could have ever conceptualized for yourself. Okay, they are ready, they are able, they are supportive, they are protective, they are a provider, right? They are that family man. They are the person that is going to help you build your legacy. They are everything that you were missing, okay? If it's not going to be this person that you've already been involved with. So if this reading resonated, give me a thumbs up, share this with your friends and family, subscribe for more, and if you want to book a personal private reading, you can hit me up. I'll leave my email here as well as in the description box. Readings start as low as $10 and then just go up from there depending on if you need me to read for another person you're involved in, cross-watching for, etc. Just whatever you may need, I am here for you.